going to a different port style, perhaps the white port. What sort of white ports do you have in the range? What do you recommend? It's a port category that's growing very quickly. So what do Quevedo bring to white port?
Well, Quevedo is a small family business, relatively young in the port industry. We start bottling our ports about 30 years ago, and at that time, port was still a lot about red port. It was vintage port, a bit of the tonies. What we have experienced in the last years is that people look more and more for white ports. And we are lucky to be in a great position because my great-grandparents and my grandparents, so my family in the past, we were growing the grapes and making the white port, but no one was really interested in buying them. There was no market for that. Actually, Mr. Robert Coburn used it to say, so a famous English merchant about 100 years ago, he said something that should stay in our mind, that says a lot about how the industry was looking into white port. And he said, the first duty of port is to be red. And what happens is that nowadays we have a crowd of port lovers that want to try the diversity that port can offer, and white port is great in that sense. You have a young crowd of people that are not really familiar with port, but want also to try and start with a white port. And in that sense, we have a good range of white ports to offer to people. We have very young white ports, such as a dry white and a regular white with about, the dry white has about 60 grams of sugar per liter, the regular white has about 90, which is the standard for port. But we also have older styles of white port. We have a 10-year white port, which has been selling very, very well. Last year, or a couple of years ago, we decided to bottle the first old colheita, so it's a 2009 colheita. And we also have a 30 and a 50, so we have a huge diversity of white ports that people have been enjoying. I believe that the white port is here to stay and to introduce more people into port. It's a great way of starting your port experience and your port tour.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I mean, to bring some personal bias to this, white port is my favorite style of port, and yeah, Quevedo has a fantastic range. I really, really enjoy all your white ports.